Okay, let's dive right into this. For yourself, planning that cruise vacation. What's one of the first things people start thinking about? Saving money, right?
Definitely.
Specifically, maybe finding ways to get around some of those higher costs, like, say, the often talked about drink package.
Yeah, that quest for value or maybe just, finding a bit of a loophole
Hmm.
has really fueled the online world of cruise hacks.
Oh, absolutely.
It was a massive topic on platforms like TikTok.
Totally. You see videos everywhere claiming to show you the secrets, right? Free upgrades, hidden spots, or ways to sneak things on board.
Most of it's pretty harmless fun, I think.
Yeah, mostly innocent. But sometimes the line between a clever tip and actually breaking the rules gets a little, well, blurry.
And that's exactly what we're unpacking today.
Exactly. We're looking at a situation that escalated pretty quickly. It involves a cruise line, a social media post, and a really surprising consequence.
And our source for this deep dive is an article from this street. It really zeroed in on a very specific incident, involved a TikTok influencer and Carnival Cruise Line.
Right. And our mission here is to dissect this story. We want to understand what allegedly happened, what was put out there, online.
How the cruise line reacted.
Yes. And especially that twist at the end. And most importantly, what warnings and insights this whole thing holds for you, the listener.
What should you think about before you post that vacation hack online?
Precisely. It's a fascinating case study, really, on how what happens online can have very real-world repercussions.
Absolutely.
So let's start with the setup. Like we said, the desire to save money on a cruise is totally understandable.
Of course, those extras can add up fast.
They really can. And the drink package is notorious for being a big expense, so it makes sense why people are hunting for these hacks.
And creators on TikTok and other platforms, they know this. They build huge followings by promising these, like insider tips and tricks.
It's content that resonates, right? Because people are genuinely looking for ways to stretch their vacation budget.
Definitely.
Which leads us directly to the incident in the Fifth Street article. It focuses on a TikTok influencer, Courtney Murley, and someone she was traveling with.
This was on the Carnival Conquest, sailing March 31st, 2025.
Okay. And the initial claim came from a video Murley posted. She alleged that they successfully smuggled alcohol onto the ship.
Right, smuggled alcohol.
And the method they supposedly used, it was quite specific, almost theatrical.
Yeah, hiding the alcohol in, feminine product packaging?
In shampoo bottles. You see those kinds of rum runner tips floating around online all the time?
Oh yeah, they're classics in the hack community.
But the key timeline element here, this is important. The video showing this alleged attempt wasn't posted during the cruise.
No, she waited until after they had disembarked and were back home.
Right, which is interesting in itself. And the caption she used on that video was pretty bold. Something like, "Def waited until after I got home to post this." But it worked.
Yeah. She even added a bit about how even though they ended up spending about the same amount they would have for a drink package anyway.
Right, buying drinks on board?
It was still fun to try and see if the smuggling method, actually worked.
Just for the thrill of it, maybe?
Perhaps. And that video didn't stay quiet. The article reports it racked up over 300,000 views.
Wow, 300,000. That's a lot of eyes on a video claiming to show rule-breaking behavior.
A huge number.
Yep.
And as it turns out, some of those eyes belong to Carnival Cruise Line.
Ah, okay. So Carnival was watching.
Well, the article points out that Carnival has a pretty strict stance on its rules, especially regarding bringing alcohol on board. No surprise there.
Standard procedure.
But what's particularly interesting is that they evidently have a team that actively monitors social media.
Specifically looking for passengers posting about breaking those rules while on board, or even after.
It seems so, yeah. What's fascinating here is the reach and the follow-up. This wasn't something caught at the port, during boarding.
Right. It wasn't like security found it then.
No. It was a video posted after the cruise that triggered a reaction from the cruise line's social media monitoring team.
And that reaction was direct.
Very direct. They sent a letter to the influencer.
Okay, a letter. And the consequence outlined in that letter, it wasn't just a slap on the wrist, was it?
No, not at all. Carnival informed her she was receiving a lifetime ban.
A lifetime ban from all of their vessels.
That's what the article says. A lifetime ban.
Wow.
And the letter reportedly spelled out the reasons very clearly. It stated the ban was due to the smuggling of alcohol on board the Carnival Conquest on March 31st, 2025.
Okay, the alleged smuggling.
And subsequently posting about it on social media platforms.
Ah, so it wasn't just the alleged action itself, but the act of broadcasting it on social media. They explicitly called that out.
Exactly. Both things were cited. The letter also mentioned that any future bookings she had with Carnival would be canceled.
And potentially loss of deposit, too.
Potentially, yes. That's a pretty significant real-world penalty, isn't it? Stemming from a decision to post a video online after the trip is over.
It really is. It underscores how companies are paying attention to online behavior related to their services, even if it happens after the fact.
Yeah, the internet remembers.
Okay, now, here's where the story takes a pretty sharp turn. It gets really interesting.
This is the twist.
Right. After she received that ban letter, and actually after she posted another video showing the ban letter itself,
Which is another layer, posting the ban letter.
her story about the original incident completely changed. 180.
Yes, completely. In a subsequent video addressing the ban, she denied the smuggling ever happened.
Denied it. So what was the video then?
She claimed the initial video, the one showing the alleged smuggling attempt, was faked,
Faked how?
using juice rather than actual alcohol.
Juice. Okay. And her explanation for why she would fake a video showing herself breaking cruise line rules.
She said it was created purely for entertainment value
Entertainment value.
and to boost engagement on TikTok. Get views, get likes.
So basically clickbait that looked like rule breaking.
That's her claim now. And her reaction to the ban was very public. She questioned whether Carnival owed her an apology.
An apology for banning her based on her own video.
For banning her for something she claimed she didn't actually do. Asked her followers for recommendations for a lawyer.
Wow. Okay.
Her stance was basically, we did not break a rule because, according to her, she didn't smuggle alcohol. She insisted all I did was make a video and emphasized that it was edited.
So she's trying to separate the act from the video. She's saying, okay, you banned me based on this video, but I didn't actually do the thing the video shows.
Right. And I need to defend my reputation against this accusation. It's a wild contradiction, isn't it? Between her initial, "it worked" caption
Which sounded pretty clear.
and her later, "it was fake for views" explanation.
It really puts the ball back in the air, doesn't it? Was the first video a boast about a successful rule-breaking attempt that backfired?
Or was the second video the truth? And the ban came from a misunderstanding based on staged content designed to go viral.
And this is where we connect the dots and pull out the lessons for you listening. You have this fascinating tension, right? Between the influencer's initial claim, it worked, and her later denial, I faked it for entertainment.
And the cruise line's response,
Yeah.
specifically citing subsequently posting about it on social media platforms as a reason for the ban.
That's crucial.
It really is. It suggests that even if the act itself is questionable or later denied, the public portrayal of it online is what caught their attention.
And triggered the consequence. It wasn't necessarily about proving the smuggling occurred beyond doubt. The post itself was part of the problem cited.
That's the big takeaway, isn't it? This incident is a really strong reminder that companies, especially in travel and hospitality, they are watching social media.
They absolutely are.
And the consequences for perceived rule breaking or even just showing perceived rule breaking can happen long after you've left, long after you've unpacked your bags. The article specifically warns about this. It suggests maybe stick to genuinely helpful tips online.
Like, best times to hit the buffet or quiet spots on deck.
Exactly. Rather than content that appears to glorify bending or breaking the rules, even if you think it's just a joke.
So what does this story tell you? It really highlights that blurred line between online performance, creating content for engagement or entertainment, and real-world accountability.
Totally. Even if you claim something is fake or just for fun afterwards, what you depict online can be interpreted and acted upon by others.
Including the companies whose policies you're potentially showcasing, even in a staged way.
Precisely.
This whole situation is quite the case study. It leaves you wondering, doesn't it? Was it a genuine hack that was then bragged about, leading to a ban?
Was it a completely fake video intended for views that inadvertently caused a real permanent consequence?
Or did the act of posting itself and the sheer reach of that video, regardless of the truth of the alleged action, cross a threshold? Did that trigger Carnival's monitoring system and the ban?
It's hard to know for sure from the outside, but the core message seems clear. It's a pertinent reminder what you choose to share on social media.
Especially content that touches on rules, policies, or even just depicts behavior that could be perceived as rule-breaking.
Can have significant and lasting impacts. This holds true even if you label it as entertainment or if you thought enough time had passed.
Yeah, the digital footprint is real. It really makes you consider the responsibility that comes with creating and sharing content online.
particularly when it shows behavior that challenges or bypasses established rules, whether you actually did it or just staged it.
So here's something to think about. Where do you draw the line between online performance designed purely for engagement, for those clicks and views, and facing real-world accountability for the actions portrayed?
That's a really good question to ponder, especially in today's online culture.